All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You were listening to the Morning Edge webinar, and I want to welcome you all back. Hope you guys are having a great trading session. I hope you guys had a great week. I'm going to just tell you right now, I've actually had one of my better weeks of trading. And a lot of that was due to the Aussie New Zealand. I mean, I took a lot of profits out of the Aussie New Zealand, but even from the Aussie New Zealand, the yen yesterday treated me really well. My trades in the Canadian, and if I would have just gotten out of my Canadian trades ahead of the BOC, I would have had probably my best week of trading. So it's been a really good week of trading for me. It could have been better, but a really good week of trading. I hope you guys have done well as well. And I've done pretty good with the euro dollar, just shorting it. When it was above 111, shorting the Kiwi dollar near 73 cents. I'm not short the Kiwi right now, although if you don't follow, if you do not follow Forex Analytics, and guys, I don't, if you want to support me, this is my new pet project. You can be a Wise Trade customer, you can be a Wise or a Forex Analytics client, but if you notice. Here's our active patterns in play. I'm bearish the Kiwi, okay, with a double top, targeting 71.20 from yesterday. And I was short the Kiwi dollar yesterday at 71.92 average, and I got out of that yesterday at 71.60 in Asian trade. So it dropped down to like 52 or something, or 55, and I got out of it by the time I got out of it, because it was the same time I got out of my yen pairs. But as you can see, Forex Analytics, these are patterns in play now. A pattern in play is basically just it's more of an educational part of our platform. It basically says, hey, it's a double top, and you go, okay, well, it's a double top. Okay, well, why is it a double top? And it says, oh, here's the chart. The chart's a double top. I wrote double top, but it could have been a triple top as well. But anyway, we'll go through that analysis. But you can see that that's what I'm still bearish the Kiwi. I just happen not to be short it right now. I've already pulled profits, and I would not mind shorting it again. Any move to 72 cents, and I'd be looking to short the Kiwi. Anyway, we'll get to that. Let's talk about let's go with the euro dollar, and just one last thing about Forex Analytics. Yeah, make sure you guys try it out. You guys have an opportunity to try it out, so try it out. All right, so here's the euro. Crazy, huh? The spike up to 111.63 reversal yesterday. Now it's very choppy. I think I'm going to delete everything here and just redraw. So let's go remove. Okay, let's do this, just so you understand why I'm bearish the euro. Okay. What I just drew in the euro dollar, do at this point in time, do you really need any more explanation on why I'm bearish the euro? I don't know if I really have to draw anything else right now. Can you see what I just drew on the daily chart? Do I have to sit here and explain to you anymore why I'm bearish the euro? I mean, honestly, like if you're looking at that chart and you're not understanding why I'm bearish the euro right now, I'm not sure if I can, yeah, we're below the lowest trend line. This is it. Okay. Now, does that mean that it's not frustrating right now? No, hell no. It's very frustrating. I've shorted the euro. I've shorted the euro probably 5 times this week. And I'm not exaggerating. I've shorted it like 111.10, covered it at 110.80, shorted at 111.05, covered it at 110.80, shorted 11.20, covered it at 111.80, 110.80. I shorted it yesterday at one. Yesterday I actually lost money on one trade on the euro. I shorted the euro at here, right? At it was like, or maybe it was like right here, like 111.10. I was I was up, and then I got stopped out of the spike. It started a rally, and I got stopped out at like in the 30s. I turned around and shorted again at 44 after the Bank of England news or whatever the hell it was that pushed it up yesterday. I shorted again, and I closed it out at 15. I mean, I've been short in and out of the euro dollar probably 5 times this week, and I think I lost money once when we spiked up here. I got stopped out, but I reshorted it again. Um, and you know what? I'll short it again. I don't know if I'll short it right at this very moment in time, but I'll short it again. You know, we get up towards 112, but let us push new highs. I double dog dare you. I double dog dare you. Let's press above these highs. I will short it again, and I might not be able to do that until Monday, honestly. Okay, but hey, as long as we stay below that yellow trend line, I'm shorting the euro. Okay, plain and simple. I'm not going to short it. Just because I think right at this moment, if you short the euro and you close your eyes for 2 weeks, I think you'll make money. Just because I feel that way does not mean that if you short it here 2 weeks from now, it's going to be right here. It doesn't mean we won't go here before going here. Does that make sense? So let me say that again. Even though I think you could short the euro right now, close your eyes, go into a coma, wake up from your coma 2 weeks later, and you go, huh, thank God I was short the euro. I made money. Even though I truly believe that, I still think that you could actually get a better price because you're not going to be in a coma. Well, let's just hope you're not going to be in a coma. But I really think we can actually do this. Whoop, whoop. And I don't know if that's going to be today. I don't know if that's going to be Monday, Tuesday. But look, I'm waiting for it. I'm ready for it. Okay? So, will we get up there? Again, okay, take a look at your palm. Let's take a look at your palm, and let's count how many crevices you have in the palm of your hand. And I might, no, I'm joking again. I don't know if we're going to make it up there, but I do know there's a 50% retracement right here. That means this spike high is going to be fairly significant, even if we spike past it. So I'm going to write down 111.85. Okay. Okay. I'm tired. Fridays I always have the yawns. I am really tired. I tried to stay up with my son to watch a movie last night. I stayed up an hour past my bedtime. I kind of left the markets, and I tried to stay up with him. I couldn't do it though. I just couldn't do it. Mm. Okay. All right. So where's support? I mean, I don't know really where support in the euro is. I mean, I know where it is. I know it's down here at 110. I mean, I know that's support. I just, for today, I don't know. I don't know where we can go to today. I don't really have a clue. I mean, maybe, maybe, like if it comes under a lot of pressure, we might get down to 110.75, but yeah, I mean, 110.75. But that's asking a lot out of the euro, which is very range bound right now. I'm still bearish. Well, it's below 112. I'm still bearish. I know you can say, well, isn't it Blake? Isn't it a range? Again, I'll just default back to this chart. Okay. It may be in a range, but while we're below this yellow trend line, I am bearish. Okay? All right. Now let's go into the cable. So here's the pound. Now, let's talk about the cable. So the pound, the UK, the Bank of England left rates unchanged, right? Right. Okay, the left rates unchanged. Now, with rates unchanged, what does that mean? That means that you had to get some positioning. You had to get some. You had to get some readjustment of price, readjustment of of price because you have expectations have shifted a little bit, but still, the Bank of England, from what I understand and from what I've read and looking through some of the comments, they're still expected to cut rates in August. So with that being said, we're still capped at 135. And I'll tell you, if you go out to the weekly chart and you go back to 2009, last I checked, that was the support. That is the resistance. The low there was 135.02. Okay. The high yesterday was 134.80, 134.79. So while we are below 135, it is still bearish. Now, I'm not going to lie and say I haven't been buying the cable because that would be a lie. I have been buying the pound. I haven't been buying the pound dollar. I actually shorted the pound dollar yesterday, but I bought the pound kiwi on Monday. I sold it obviously several hundred pips too early, but still, and I've shorted the euro pound. I mean, I still been nibbling on the pound itself to the long side, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous being long the cable. I know this is key resistance. If we get above 135, that is a game changer for the cable because we do have this inverted head and shoulder pattern. Well, at least it's a setup. I mean, head and shoulder patterns, they're setups until you break the neckline. But I'll tell you what, if we break 135, we're going to squeeze. And secretly, between you and I and the bedpost, as I whisper sweet nothings into your ear, between you and I and the bedpost, did I just gross some of you out? I probably did. You're probably like, no, that's just nasty. All right. But anyway, but between you and I secretly hope the pound fails here because I really, really hope this just turns into a continuation pattern like this. And we head back down to 125. I secretly hope that because I really want to buy it down at 125, and I feel like I'm missing the boat because I'm not long the cable right now. I really do. Okay. I really feel that, hold on really quick. I got to check something. One second. All right. Anyway, I really feel I'm missing the boat right now, not being long the cable. But if it gets above 135, I'm gonna have to face the music and realize the pound's squeezing, and then there's not a whole lot we're gonna be able to do because then we're gonna squeeze up to 138, and it's just gonna squeeze, and it's gonna be ugly, and people are gonna be shorts are gonna be running for the hills, and that type of thing. But for right now, it looks like we're developing a head and shoulder pattern, but head and shoulder patterns can be very deceiving, and more times than not, they end up being continuation patterns of moves. Like in this case, it'll be a move lower. So don't get too enamored with what you're seeing here. don't get to, looking at the chart and saying that's what it is. Don't get married to this pattern, because it isn't until you break above the 135 level. Okay. Now this is support down here, 133, and it's key in my opinion. 133, or we could write down 133.20. If 133.20 breaks, I think that we will be at risk of coming back down to 130. And I'll tell you, this right here is no man's land. This is no man knows what the hell to do with it land. And this land right here is, this land is my land. This land is your land. This land is, you can have the frickin' land because I don't want the land. That's that land. That's the land that you guys have fun beating the hell out of each other at. I'm going to figure out what to do when we get out of that. Okay? Are we clear? Good. This land is your land. This land is my land. Okay, enough of that. It's Friday. Let's go over to the Swissy. So the Swissy, so I have to give props to Nick Trades, my colleague over at Forex Analytics. She called that Garley pretty damn good. I was set on the idea, and I didn't listen to her, which was stupid of me not to. I was set on the idea that we had broke this downtrend line. I bought the dollar Swiss this week. I want to say it was yesterday. It was either yesterday or the day before yesterday. I bought it at 98, like 50 or 40 or maybe 30. I bought it at like 98.30. I actually bought it close to this trend line. I sold it at 97.82, so I lost like 50 pips as it came back through that trend line. I should have been watching the harmonic pattern, but no, I did not. I ignored my own teammate, which was stupid. Anyway, let's get rid of this. This is giving me a headache here. Okay. We have a 618 retracement right here, and that is key support. So for bulls, 97.60 needs to hold. Carney's speaking pretty soon. Is he speaking right now? Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Patrick. Carney's losing his credibility. Because he was, I could have sworn that most of us were very well prepared for a rate cut yesterday. Thank God I wasn't short the pound going into the Bank of England decision, but man, I was expecting a rate cut as was everybody else. So the new chancellor came in and probably told Carney and company to say don't cut rates, and he didn't. So no one's going to listen to Carney anymore. Carney has lost all credibility as of yesterday, in my opinion. And that sucks. When you're a central banker and you lose credibility, where your words don't matter, that's your biggest tool as a central banker. 98.20. Because when your words don't matter, you can't influence the market that you want to, how you want to influence it. All right, dollar yen. I gotta do this really quick. So the dollar yen spiked above 106 overnight in Asia. I got sucked into trading into the short side. let's keep in mind that we are still floating around a major area. We have overshot the 105.50. We overshot it over on this side. We are really close to it. I'm going to tell you right now, if we close below 105 today and we create some sort of hammer, or I'm sorry, shooting star today, or gravestone doji, if we close at our lows today, that is going to be a very bearish event for the dollar yen. I'm really just gonna write down 105 and 106.30, and I'm gonna see what happens by the end of the day. Because if we close at 105, I know Paul said I wouldn't be short the dollar yen over the weekend. I may be. Okay, because if we have a bearish reversal candle today, I may actually step in front of some of the yen pairs. Okay. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll cruise through the analysis coming up. I was taking my sweet time just with the euro dollar, but I'll be a little quicker on my analysis when we come back. All right, don't go anywhere. Man, this Canadian is so weak. I'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks. All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You were listening to the Morning Edge webinar. Man, did you guys see crude oil? Holy cow, man. Crude. I was wondering why the Canadian was so weak, and then I looked over and saw crude, and I said, oh, well, that would be why. Look at crude oil here. Look at this spike up in crude. And let's stop here for a second. I'll go. I'm going to get to the pairs here just in a moment. But this is, you know, when you're talking Canadian, this is worth noting, right? Now, my colleague over at Forex Analytics is bullish crude. Grega, where is it? Right here. Okay. Bullish crude, you know, up towards 49, I think is what he's looking for. But you know, this is where, you know, the rubber meets the road in crude. It's right through here. You know, in order for us to get up towards 49, we actually have to break through here. If that happens, the dollar Canadian is probably going to break below 128. I would make that assumption. All right. All right, so let's go over to, I'm sorry, we got to do the Canadian, so let's do it. So here's the Canadian. I am short some Canadian currency, but I'm long the Euro Canadian. Now, as far as the dollar Canadian goes, I talked about it earlier, but I'm gonna say it again. I don't know how the market's viewing the dollar Canadian. If it's this way, here, let's remove that. If it's this way, then we had a false breakout at the highs, or just a real, you know, it was either, well, it's probably just a test of the highs, you know, and a failure, which will push us back towards 128. But if it's a failed breakout, it could actually break through lows, or you know, perhaps we're just looking at it as a wedge. I don't know. But regardless, I do want to buy the dollar Canadian on a move to 128, 128 and change. Let's figure out where that is. Okay, so 128 from this spike low. Well, we're in between fibs there. And we're at the 618, almost at the 618. So 128.30. It's right there. Hold on. Let me go from the low. Like the low to the high here. So you got 128.23, which is the 50% retracement. So if you're looking at this, I mean, personally, I think what we could see is a move below this 128.30 and a move down to 128. Stop out every long, right? It'll look like this. So I'd be willing to take a shot at it at 128. But I'm going to write down support at, okay, 128.30. All right. Resistance. So any move back to 129.80 right here, it's going to be sold. You got to spike low, spike low, spike high. $129. Is it 129.85? Yeah, 129.85. It's resistance. We are in a range. We're just getting towards the lower end of our range where it's looking attractive. Remember, I'd rather, when you're in a range environment, I'd rather, you know, trade it inside the range. Okay, let's go over to the Kiwi. Here's your Kiwi. Now, the Kiwi has this double top, sold there. Oops. This, since we're doing sell zones, right? That's the sell zone right there. Oh, no. No. All right. There we go. Okay. So any move back up to 72 to 72.15, I'll write down 72.15. I would be interested in selling up there. Okay. It is in a range, but remember, if you guys don't recall this from our analysis all week and all the last month, we're at the upper end of this channel. So now this double top that you see here, this double top or triple top, it should produce a move to 71.20, because if you go like this, there's your neckline, right? Let's duplicate that. Could go a little bit lower. I think I did it short because of if that was the neckline, but regardless, a move down to 71 to 71.20 seems very doable for the Kiwi. So I'm going to write down, if we get down to 71, you got to start looking for a bounce. Okay. All right. Let's go to the Aussie. Okay, so here's the Aussie. So the Aussie overnight, this is scary if you're long the Aussie. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. This is a 4-hour chart. You guys maybe recall this wedge that we were dealing with yesterday. So the scariest thing about the Aussie right now is that we rallied beyond the resistance overnight, okay? And we also created a, if you guys haven't seen this, we created a, here's our 4-hour. That's a hanging man right now. We got an hour to go. I'm actually tempted. Actually tempted to short some Aussie here. I mean, 74, 51. You're risking from here about, let's just say 40 pips or so. I sold a little bit of Aussie. I'm going to sell a little bit of Kiwi too while I'm at it. Okay. I sold some Aussie and some Kiwi. As long as we stay below that high. Now this is it is a bullish wedge, but I still think we break lower, especially with that false breakout above the highs. The reason why I think we break out lower is I believe that risk aversion is going to pick up. So I sold a little bit of Kiwi and Aussie. We'll see. And I know we got U.S. data here in a few minutes, but as long as we stay below below that high, okay. Now 76, 75. What's the high there? 76, 75. 76, 75. That's going to be resistance, and then support is 76 still. Okay, it's a range. And one other thing that I almost forgot to show you. Here's the Aussie. Remember that? Okay. Just in case we do break higher and we break towards 77.50, that's 100 pips from now, and we might get up there like on Monday or so, especially if the data is weak and the U.S. dollar. I won't obviously be short as it does that, but if we make it up to 77.25 or so, that's going to be a really good place to be on the short side, in my opinion. Now, if perhaps it's like this, and maybe we already hit it. I don't know, but we are getting close to resistance here. Okay, dollar index. Oops. Here's the dollar index. $618 comes in at 95.80. Hold on. Don't want that. Okay. Ah, that is a bearish wedge when you have consistent lows, lower highs. Then again, so is that as we broke higher. So resistance right now is 96.30 and 95.80. So 95.80, 96.30, and we are in a range. Okay, peso. Just so you guys know, I just got out of my peso for a flat when we were on break. I just kind of took it off the table, but I'm not opposed to buying it again. $820, $844. Range. US dollar, Norwegian krona. Oops. I don't think there's a lot to do with the Norwegian krona right now. This is, by the way, I know I didn't say anything about France today. I mean, horrific. I don't even know any. I really don't even have very many words to. I don't have any words in my vocabulary to really describe, the heinousness of the situation. I watched a very graphic video last night on it. Just sad, I don't want to. I don't want to get us in. I don't want to get us into this conversation on a Friday. But it's just sad, it's sad. It's like every week there's something, whether it's here in the United States or it's overseas, from where I live, closer to home for where some of you guys live. I mean, it's horrendous. It's just there's always something. And frankly, I don't want to really talk about it. I just, obviously I'm very saddened by the news. So, okay. 833. I'll write that down as supports of 786. I don't know where resistance is. I guess we could say that previous support right here is. So 841, 833, and I just don't know if there's a lot to do here. Swedish krona. Here, let's delete everything. Okay. Now, longer term, I should probably do this. So everybody can see it. Right? If you were bearish, the U.S. dollar Swedish krona on a longer term basis, that chart in itself should make you poop your pants. Right there. All right. I almost said it. I almost said it. I didn't. I controlled myself. What to do with it here, though? Sometimes you need a blank slate. Just kind of look at. I got to have a blank slate and rework everything here. 846, 857. They're not good support or resistance levels either. 846. We just need to do more work. 8.57. We just got to, sometimes the market just needs to do a little bit more work to develop a better pattern. And right now, I don't know what that pattern is here on the U.S. dollar Swedish krona. Sure would like to have a dip though. Or what I would really like to see is I would like to see this, down like that. That's what I'd like to see. Maybe we'll get it. Who knows? All right, guys. So your bias chart is done, and okay, that's it. All right, I'm gonna go back to bed. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Sorry.